Hi there, welcome to yet another episode of CV Talks. Today, I'm going to talk to you about 5 characteristics of an emotional abuse. And the reason why I thought of talking about this today is because I heard a story of a woman who is actually living in an emotionally abusive relationship for a long time from her husband, and she started facing domestic violence incidents as well. But initially, she thought, she didn't understand the characteristics that she is actually in an emotionally abusive relationship. She never knew that. So I thought, I should share this for general interest of public to understand if you are in an emotionally abusive relationship, which actually in many times it actually translates or it ends up into a physical abuse or a domestic violence incidents. So here are 5 characteristics of being in an emotionally abusive relationship. Now, this could be any kind of relationship. It need not be a husband and wife relationship or a spouse or anything like that. It could also be a relationship with a parent. Sometimes parent-children relationship can also be emotionally abusive. It could also be between two friends. It could be also between colleagues. Different kinds of emotional abuses are there. But there are certain general characteristics, and these general characteristics are what I'm going to share today. All right. So, characteristic number 1. Okay. Number 1, they keep on checking on you. The emotional abusers, they have this quality of ensuring what you're doing, where you are, who are you with. Okay, constant checking, and they also create a feeling in you, or rather, they convince you that you are my property, and I have all rights to check on you. Okay, it's like they create that kind of a feeling in your mind that you are supposed to report to that person every time, wherever you are, however you are. Okay, so that becomes your responsibility. So this is one very very typical emotional abuser's character. To of course, I'm not saying that you shouldn't inform your spouse or your family that you are going there or you're doing that. But here it becomes more of a threatening. I have seen there are some women sometimes, while we are discussing or while we are in certain meetings, some women, when they get the call of their husband, their entire face, their entire, it's like an anxiety attacks them. It's like then they quickly take the phone and they say something and then they cut it off. They don't want to talk even further much. Okay, so these kinds of incidents are very common, and what happens in such a relation is that they keep on telling lies. Sometimes they keep on telling lies in order to please the other person, and this lies actually ends up in leading into a more difficult and a worse relationship henceforth. So that is characteristic number 1. Characteristic number 2, an emotionally abusive person belittles you or criticizes you for everything that you do. They never acknowledge any of your strengths or capabilities or even accomplishments. Even if you go and win the Olympic award, or maybe you go and win a big championship, or you come with a great achievement, they never utter a word. Okay, or they may say, they may sometimes appreciate, but then they come with a clause. They say that it's not a big thing what you have done. Okay, or maybe, oh, it's because out of luck, you were so lucky, that's why you got it. Or maybe in worst cases they even say, what did you do to get this? You understand, right? They say that you got this because you did something underground, or maybe you had an affair with that person. They even talk in that way. So that is emotional abuse characteristic number 2, where you are being undermined of all your capabilities. You are not valued, and you are belittled and criticized for everything that you do. And what happens in such a case is that you end up being frustrated for a long time, and then after some time you end up losing your entire self-esteem, and in worst cases you also start having depression and other psychological illnesses. So this is characteristic number 2. Characteristic number 3, Despite hearing all these hurtful comments, despite hearing all these accomplishments, you know that this person is belittling you, you know that this person is harassing you, this person is emotionally abusing you, but still the abuser is very tactful. What he or she does is they convince you in such a way that the entire blame is on you, and then you end up saying sorry. So this is characteristic number 3. Most of the time, abusers, despite the abuse, the victim ends up saying sorry, or victim apologizes, or victim actually goes behind and says that I will not, it's okay, please forgive me, or I will not do this again. Probably even if you win the Olympic and come and then say that you got this award or this prize, the victim ends up saying sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't take your permission before going into the Olympics. This kind of a situation is what the abuser takes you into. So apologizing for no mistake of yours is characteristic number 3. Characteristic number 4. This is a very, very important characteristic. This, I think, many people miss out, but it's a very important characteristic, and you may not even know that you are being done like this. Most of the time, the emotional abusers, they try to alienate you from other support system. For example, if you have a good friend or maybe a group of friends with whom you are sharing your concerns, if the abuser comes to know about that, he or she starts creating rift amongst your friends. He or she starts talking ill about them, or telling you, or maybe even manipulating and convincing you that you should not have this relationship with your friends because they are bad. They have all this character. And I don't want you to end up in a mess. I care for you. So try to keep away from all this support system. So they even alienate you from your closest family members, including probably your parents or your cousins or people who are you are very much close with. They alienate you even without you knowing. They keep on alienating, and you end up in a situation where you are only dependent on the emotional abuser. Okay, you become a lonely warrior. I mean, you start feeling that you are alone. You don't have any support. Nobody is going to support you other than the person, the emotional abuser. He is the God Savior in front of you, or she, maybe. He or she is the God Savior. He or she only can help you. So you become money. Sometimes money could be a support system. Sometimes you are denied of all kinds of money. The abuser do not give you any money. Okay, you end up dependent on that person. The abuser doesn't allow you to earn money. The abuser doesn't allow you to go out or meet people or form friendships or relations or anything. So cutting off the support system is what the abuser does, in fact, in the early stages of an abusive relationship. So that is characteristic number 4. Characteristic number 5. Now this, I would say, is a very, very key abuser characteristic, and I think this identifies that you are in an abusive relationship. You want to know that? It's very simple. The abuser never lets go his or her victim. Now, if you are a victim of an abuse, okay, the abuser does all kinds of tactics in order to keep the victim under his or her authority. It could be out of threatening. Sometimes he or she may threaten you. Sometimes, as I said, when your support system and everything is lost, you don't know how to manage. And at that time, he comes as a savior, and he says that, see, I'm the only person for you, so you better be with me. That is another tactic. The other is threatening, I mentioned first. But most commonly, another emotional tactic that they use is, literally begging, or even falling into them and saying that I cannot live without you. I love you so much. If you are not there in my life, I am nothing. I will go and commit suicide. I will do anything for you. but just don't leave me. This is a typical characteristic of an abuser. Because once they do this, once they actually, start doing this, what happens is that they have the victim in their clutches. Okay, the victim is always there in their clutches. They want somebody to be their victims. They cannot be independent. So what happens is that if at all the victim is, or rather the person who is affected, is strong enough to tell that no, I'm, enough is enough. I'm just moving out of this relationship, or this bullshit. I don't want to suffer anymore. I just want to move on. In such a case, the entire characteristic or entire tactics of the person changes, and he or she reverses, suddenly shows the sign of becoming nice for some time. Okay, but after some time, the situation comes back to the original. All right. So this is a very typical characteristic of emotional abuse. So my dear friends, I have shared 5 characteristics of, or rather 5 signs to understand the psychology of emotional abusers, or rather whether you are in an emotionally abusive relationship. But the challenge here is that many times, as I said, in our family relationship, especially in a marital relationship, many people, I would say, are continuing the relationship even suffering all these characteristics. Okay, I know many women who are suffering this. Not just women, even men are also in this kind of suffering relationships. However, you should understand that the grades vary, and sometimes when this extremes, like when this emotional abuse actually goes to an extreme where the victim is suffering beyond means, the victim is actually getting into depression, the victim is getting anxieties or panic attacks or similar psychological disturbances. It affects the victim's behavior as well as capabilities and potentials and talents. I would say then it becomes the worst case of emotional abuse. Do not let that happen. And even if you identify emotional abuse, even at a very late stage, sometimes many of the emotional abuses lead on to become physical abuse. Okay, physical abuses, domestic violence cases, even sexual abuse, all this happens out of emotional abuse. So in such cases, my suggestion to you how to get out of this is to actually get out of it. Okay. One thing that you can do is to definitely, once you realize that you are in such a relationship, to seek help. Now, the help, of course, has to come from your immediate family or your friends or somebody who understands this better. And let me also tell you, most of the emotional abusers have a very nice front face. In the family or in the close circle of their friends and everything, they put up a very nice face, so that even if you go and complain that you are having an emotional abusive relationship, the others will not believe you, because that is the kind of persona that they put up. So this is a very typical common scenario which I find I've seen a lot of cases. So my suggestion, or rather what you can do to come out of this relation, is to actually physically move out of the relationship, which means you have to get separated from the abuser as early as possible. That is the step 1. The step 2 is definitely to get a consultant or a psychologist or a psychotherapist or a psychiatrist or somebody who can help the victim. In many cases, what happens, not the victim, sorry, the abuser. In many cases, what happens is, due to all the stress and emotional trauma, it is the victim that gets the psychological help. But actually, it is not the victim that requires the treatment. It is the abuser that requires the treatment. So if you are having an abusive behavior because you have certain traumas within you which needs treatment. Okay. So just to conclude, as I said, emotional abuse is a very common form of abuse, and this has been actually aggravated, especially in the lockdown season, after the COVID season. And a lot of women, in fact, are facing this emotional traumas and emotional abuse. But I'm not telling that everybody should go and get a divorce immediately after lockdown. In fact, that also is happening. lot of divorces are happening after lockdown. However, the point is, you need to understand that somebody who is having an emotionally abusive tendency, it will continue forever. It is not going to settle unless the person decides to and takes actions and behaviors to reduce this abusive behavior. It's not easy. It requires a lot of psychotherapy and counseling and probably in some cases medications. So do take care, everyone. I thought I'll share this psychological tips because I recently heard a few such stories and incidents, and we need to understand that you are in an abusive relationship, especially the last point which I said. The last point is where that differentiates the entire story of being in an abusive relationship. The last point is that the abuser never allows the victim to escape from his or her clutches. If you are in such a relationship, let me tell you, you deserve better. You really deserve better. You can do it. With that, I conclude this episode of CV Talks and see you all in the next episode. I spoke in English in this episode because I thought this message has to reach to wider audience. So do share your comments and feedback, and I will also come up with more psychological topics and discussions, and also about women-related issues. So stay tuned to this channel, and thanks for being there. Do subscribe and share.